the bottom of the Tennessee River lies a story that will be told for decades to come here in Knoxville, Tennessee. The goalposts torn down after the Vols finally beat Alabama and thrown right here in the bottom of this water. But that's not the only place that the goalposts reside. Where's the rest of them? For more on that, let's send things over to Matt Stinchko.
Great job, Alyssa. Now, we know that a part of the goalposts are at the bottom of the Tennessee River, but we have discovered that the brave and industrious young men of Sigma Chi also rescued a portion of those goalposts, and we have the proof right here. Now, the real question is, are there any goalposts in Neyland Stadium right now after Tennessee's big victory over Alabama?
There they are, Stench. The new goalposts have been grounded, and the Tennessee Vols continue their quest towards the top of college football as the second half of the season starts today. It's homecoming on Rocky Top, and you can bet this place will be packed.
Here we go, Tennessee. Let's go.
It is SEC football presented by Allstate. The third-ranked Tennessee Volunteers are running through the tee for their homecoming game today against the UT Martin Skyhawks. The #1 offense in all of college football is led by a Heisman candidate and six-year quarterback, Hendon Hooker.
And you can see just how he's grown in this offense. Assumed the starter role in week 3 last year versus Tennessee Tech, and he's only built on it this year. Just an incredibly prolific start to the season. Just 1 interception to 15 touchdowns. The decision-making has been outstanding. The playmaking has been even better. Hendon Hooker, a true dual threat at the quarterback position, but it's been the passing game that has exploded this year.
As we told you, it's a packed house again today, 72 degrees. Oh, look at that. Feels like 1998. Sure does. Just a little bit of wind, not a bunch of humidity. The Skyhawks won the toss. They did elect to receive, so UT Martin will get the football first on this 4th Saturday in September. Just the second ever meeting between the two schools. Vols beat UT Martin 15-0 to open the 2010 season. Martin, Tennessee, 330 miles northwest of here. Paxton Brooks ready to kick it deep to the Skyhawks after that big win last Saturday against the Crimson Tide. O'Shea Baker waiting at his 5-yard line, and we're ready to go as the Vols have their best ranking since 1999. And it's a fair catch, and the Skyhawks will start at the 25-yard line. Dresser Wynn is the quarterback, the graduate player from Dresden, Tennessee, leading head coach Jason Simpson, Skyhawks out on the field. And Stitch, this is a good FCS football team. They made the playoffs last year. Coach Simpson thinks his bunch may be better than last year's team.
Yeah, certainly offensively. He noted they were more of a run-oriented team a season ago, certainly had a larger element there. Feels that they are much more explosive as an offense this season, largely because of the veteran presence they have at the skill positions.
And a quick throw over to the sidelines is caught by Devontae Tanksley, and Tanksley gets out of bounds. He picks up 5 yards. Tennessee's defense, Stench, a little bit of a different story than that offense. The offense, #1 in the country statistically. Defense, from a total yard standpoint, is 104th. On 2nd and 5, it's a running play to Zach Wallace, and Wallace will pick up a couple. If there is a strength to the Volunteer defense, it's stopping the run.
They've been excellent all season long. Part of that has just been the number of runs they've faced. Only 191 rush attempts for the ball defense that they faced all year. Already UT Martin now trying to get a third and manageable, see if they can get an early conversion versus this improved Volunteer front.
Wynn in trouble, and it is incomplete. He's looking across the middle to DJ Nelson, but Nelson could not make the catch. It's fourth down.
Late pressure. This is something that they've been very good at defensively. The Volunteer defense has done an excellent job all season long. They haven't gotten home on a lot of sacks, but they've pressured a ton of quarterbacks.
Tyler Larco will punt it deep to the Vols with D. Williams standing at his own 25-yard line. Larco, it's a laser to Williams, and Williams comes up to field it at the 30. There is a flag down on the play. Today's referee is Kyle Olson.
During the kick, holding, receiving team, number 36. 10-yard penalty in the kick. First down, Tennessee.
So that will bring Hendon Hooker and Josh Heupel's offense out of the season. He's in the middle of his second season. Heupel is undefeated at 6-0, 13-6 overall in a year and a half. It's the first 6-0 start since 1998, in large part thanks to those numbers.
I'm just so proficient. The efficiency at which they've been working, it was described by Coach Heupel as super freaky. I mean, and it is true. You're watching it right now, and they are all executing at an exceedingly high level.
That man had one of the best performances in SEC history. You just saw Jalen Hyatt on the field to start this game, and Hooker's throwing on the first play, and it is past the 30-yard line for a pickup of 6 on the play, and McCoy making that catch to get up to the near the 30-yard line. Now Hooker throws across the middle, and it is incomplete. Jabari Small, the intended target. It'll be 3rd and 5 for the Vols.
Well, and part of that, okay, is pressuring the quarterback. And talking with Chris Polizzi, the defensive coordinator for UT Martin, you don't see a lot of defenders getting to Hendon Hooker that time. Faced a little bit of pressure as he tried to dump the ball off. You see how clean he's been all year. Only 17% of the dropbacks. You think about the number of attempts. That's the 220th that he just tried.
On 3rd and 5, Hooker's going to throw the deep ball. Hyatt is down there, and he makes the catch. .45 for the man all of college football is talking about.
This ball kind of floated out of Hendon Hooker's hand. I mean, really hung up there for a long time. A little hand jockeying there downfield. O'Shea Baker wanted to get a little offensive PI.
And the quick game, catch made inside the 20 as Ramel Keaton, who's done a great job spelling Cedric Tillman off of the injury, makes the catch.
Coaches raved about Ramel Keaton and his emergence in Tillman's absence, and they needed it.
Straight ahead, it's Small, and Small will get down to the 17-yard line. Back to Hyatt for a second. This guy last week had catches of 11, 13, 36, 60, and 78 yards. 6 catches, 5 going for touchdowns in that football game. Just sensational. And look at this hole. 1st and goal for the Vols as Small goes straight up the gut.
That time, a great job by the right side of the Tennessee offensive front. Look at him just collapse the Skyhawk defense. Easy read, just run straight downhill.
And again, inside the 4. It'll be 2nd and goal for the junior from Memphis. You wondered how Tennessee would respond after Hooker and Small had that issue fumbling the football that Alabama recovered for a touchdown and came back to win the game after that. Small again, this time inside the 2, where it'll be 3rd and goal. Remember, The Volunteers are a perfect 32 of 32 in the red zone this year, just one of 3 teams in the country that has not had an empty possession in here, and they don't here either. Touchdown, Tennessee. It's Jabari Small. Feed Jabari Small all the way down the field, and it ends up paying dividends, and the extra point by Chase McGrath, the hero from last week, makes it 7-0.
We talked about the proficiency in the red zone. They throw to get down there close, but the Volunteers, they run to score their touchdowns.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem.
The knuckleball seen across college football. Chase McGrath last week with that field goal from 40 to beat the Crimson Tide. Jabari Small scored the touchdown. 5 carries for 19 yards on the drive. Hooker found 3 different receivers as they went down the field. They remain perfect this year in the red zone. And UT Martin will get it at the 25. One of the biggest reasons Josh Heupel's team is ranked 3rd in the country, Stench, is because they're perfect inside the 20-yard line.
It's outstanding. You see the goal-to-go situations, 100%, 20 of 20. You think about what they're doing to get down there. They've had explosive plays in the passing game, but now 20 of the 26 touchdowns that they've scored on their trips down there have been on the ground. They've been physical enough in short areas to be able to pound it into the end zone.
And only 6 of those 33 trips have resulted in field goals. They're scoring touchdowns when they get down there, just like the first drive of the game. Here's a quick throw over to the sideline that'll pick up 5 yards. It's Sam Franklin who makes the catch out of the backfield, a redshirt freshman from Little Rock, Arkansas. 2nd and 5 for Wynn and UT Martin's offense.
See, UT Martin, they are also an up-tempo offense, over the football quickly.
And Wynn basically tries the same thing to the sideline. He gets a 7-yard completion to E.J. Smoot. And the junior moves the chains for UT Martin's first down.
You know, what was interesting was the observation of defensive coordinator Tim Banks for Tennessee, and he talked about how quickly offenses get away from what they typically do. And even in the LSU game, certainly in the Alabama game, he marveled at how quickly offenses abandoned their run game. UT Martin more pass-oriented, so they get off the bus throwing.
We'll run it on this play, and it'll be Franklin who gets past the 40 to the 41. And Stench, this Tennessee defense is without several guys today.
Pretty good job up front. You know, you're looking at not a ton of displacement or knockback. They do a good job of just covering up defenders on that run.
Christian Charles, Jalen McCullough, Jawan Mitchell, Quasi Garland, Kamal Haddon. They're all out today for the Volunteers. Opportunity for some younger players to make plays, and Skyhawks get another first down. This catch made by Devontae Tanksley. Sophomore from Florida gets 9 yards.
The head coach and play caller, Jason Simpson, he loves what he has in this battery. Quarterback and Dresser Wynn. Of course, he's got playmakers outside already. Devontae Tanksley getting some targets in this game early.
It's not the first time he's been in this building. Wynn throws the deep ball, and he got him inside the 10. It's Colton Dowell. That's a 41-yard completion.
Off the play fake, and you see Dowell just able to run right by. I mean, you're looking at Deshaun Rucker, a guy that they were counting on and have throughout this season. And Rucker just gets beat 5 yards into the route.
First and goal, UT Martin inside the 9. Wynn over the top, incomplete. He was looking for Dowell again. It's second and goal. Good coverage by Brandon Turnage.
You see Wynn just stepping right over. I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't see an ineligible receiver downfield. Demarius Warren, the right guard, he was almost in the path of that throw. He was standing on about the 5 or 4 yard line. Just kind of lost track of where he was.
Wynn moves the pocket, looks against his body. This is going almost into the stands. Third and goal.
We talked with Tim Banks and we're saying, what are you measuring? What do you measure defensively? So we're not worried about where we rank run defense, pass defense. It's explosive plays that we're concerned about. Already have allowed one. And now you find yourself in the red zone, but they have forced 7 different times this year in the red zone. They've turned offenses away with no points. You have to think the Skyhawks are going to be very aggressive with this scoring opportunity.
Wynn facing pressure with a flag down, and it is incomplete. I've seen that through the years, so his turnage is slow to get up.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 1. After this is a goal, automatic first down.
Trayvon Flowers gives the Skyhawks a fresh set of downs, and Turnage is still down after he hit the corner of the end zone there that goes into the stands.
You see it right off the line, and Flowers, high hands. That's a good job by the officials. It's not often you see face mask called, especially in coverage. Flowers was up there pressed up in coverage. Take a closer look at Turnage.
Played a good game last week against Alabama. Of course, used to play for the Crimson Tide, and that base of the wall, Stinch, what, some 5 yards away from the end zone.
It's not, it's just a function of how the play ended more than anything else. Right there at the back end line, you can see him, he grabs at his head almost right away. Kind of shaking his head a little bit. You don't like to see that, of course. There are far more tighter, more confined end zones than the one here at Neyland Stadium. That was really just more a function of where that ball was going and Turnage trying to make a play. And we already talked about a undermanned secondary. They came into this game down their top 3 cover guys, plus Warren Burrell before the season even got going. Now Brandon Turnage leaving the field. And obviously with that penalty, you're affording Skyhawks a fresh set of downs. And, look at this, it's a charge of the Light Brigade for the Tennessee Volunteers on both sides of the football. The majority of those guys being defenders.
Yeah, 5 of them. It's first and goal inside the 5. Wallace, the deep back, but instead it's a sweep and it's a touchdown. A walk-in for Zoe Roberts. How about that 8-play, 75-yard drive by UT Martin?
Sparked by the big play downfield. Hit him on a jet sweep. And that edge was captured right away. Jason Simpson dialing it up early.
We've got a tie ball game. Not even 6 minutes into the game, 7 apiece on homecoming in Knoxville. Welcome to Neyland Stadium. It's 7 apiece here in the first quarter. He's Matt Stinchcomb. I'm Taylor Zarzer, and yes, we do shop at the same store. Now listen, Tennessee has gotten off to this incredible 6-0 start. Last week's win was one of the greatest in the history of the program. but it's time to turn the page.
No question. And already we see in this game, have to wake up a little bit, especially defensively. You've allowed a big explosive play and now a red zone conversion for a touchdown. And it's hard to get past those kind of hangover type games. You get this epic win, perhaps an even a program changing win. Certainly one that has gotten the attention of the nation and warranted the number 3 ranking, but you got more games to play. And of course, already here early in this one, maybe a little bit of a sleepy start. See Dresser Wynn had that big throw to Colt Dowell, their leading receiver, a 41-yarder to set up that red zone possession.
It's a short kick fielded at the 28-yard line, and up to the 44 go the Volunteers. Let's get it down to Alyssa.
Guys, of course, Hendon Hooker has become one of the most famous people here in Knoxville, Tennessee. His teammates have been talking about him all season long, though, and as far as being the leader of not just this offense, but on this team, Jalen Hyatt was actually on one of our studio shows going into the Alabama game, and he referred to Hendon Hooker as a Heisman quarterback. Didn't hesitate. Of course, he put himself even more on the Heisman map a week ago with that win against Bama, guys. I've been down here on the sidelines. Plenty of fans from the stands screaming at Hendon. Thank you, Hendon, for what he did last week.
Understandably so. Danico Slaughter returned that kick to the 44-yard line, and now Jabari Small, after the touchdown, gets a couple of yards. Hooker's gone from a guy that really never could get anything going at Virginia Tech, back up here at UT, to a Heisman hopeful, in part because of that guy and the performance Jalen Hyatt had last week. That's a first down.
Well, you can see just how difficult it can be. So much space. They threw that from the far hash for a defense to cover and defend.
Quick throw, and it's a good slant down to the 37, where Keaton makes another grab. And again, Stench, are doing this without Cedric Tillman. Hyatt, Brew McCoy, Keaton, Princeton Fant, the tight end, have emerged all as weapons in this UT offense, with Tillman still nursing that ankle injury. He did have the tightrope surgery after the Akron game. They expect him back in the next week or two.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if physically he wasn't close to being ready, and certainly maybe if he was absolutely needed today, he'd be out there.
It's Small, and Jabari is going to be, looks like maybe half a yard short of that first down.
That's a great job by Carson Evans and Rob Hicks, denying the yardage needed. Now quick over the ball again.
Balls are 4 of 4 now on third down today. They aren't getting big bursts in the running game, but they're getting enough.
And they've done enough all season long to get it to third and manageable. In fact, one of the lowest averages to go on third down, which has aided their conversion rate. You see a little false start there. It looked like Cooper Mays kind of flinched a little bit over the ball.
Illegal snap, offense, number 63, 5-yard penalty, first down.
This is another element of this offense that really Tennessee has been remarkably clean. You're very urgent, and procedurally they've done an excellent job most of the season.
Forced 17 penalties against Alabama last week in that victory, 52-49 for Coach Heupel. Hooker looks over at Josh, Alex Golish, and the Tennessee offensive staff. 3 on the play clock. Hooker all day to throw. Wide open receiver inside the 5, and down to the 2 goes Keaton.
Working against Sean Lewis. There's just so much space. You see Lewis comes right out of his back pedal, and by the time Ramel Keaton breaks his route, it's over.
Balls are kept out of the end zone as Dylan Sampson, true freshman from Baton Rouge, who has 3 rushing touchdowns, comes into the game to spell Small. It'll be 2nd and goal.
John Ford, the leading tackler of the Skyhawks, able to get there into the backfield. Get Sampson on the ground.
UT Martin allowed to make substitutions.
This is the situational element. You know, Tennessee does such a great job of not subbing, trapping personnel on the field until they get into situational football.
Hooker under center gives to the fullback, and it's a touchdown for the Vols. That's big Princeton fan, the tight end slash fullback, and the senior has another touchdown.
Well, we talked about Tennessee. They run the football in the red zone. Just get behind the right side of your offensive front. Montez Spraggins, Darnell Wright. As you mentioned, Jacob Warren in there leading the charge as well. And Bant able to power his way in.
And McGrath makes it 14-7. Nothing can slow down this Tennessee offense right now. The #1 offense in America.
Peter Burns with the studio update. Second-ranked Ohio State already up 3-0. How about this? A little sack and strip. Iowa with their third defensive touchdown of the season, but just a couple plays later, Brian Williams punches it in. 10-7 Buckeyes. Now back to guys that use the same Taylor and Stinch.
Stolen from you, Burns. Does Iowa have more defensive touchdowns than offensive touchdowns this season? It's got to be close, right?
Got to be darn close. Very explosive defensive scoring for Iowa.
They wish they could have the Volunteer offense. Playoff Predictor gives the Vols a 48% chance to get to the college football playoff, giving the Buckeyes the best chance. Maybe that's in part because of what's left, Stench, on Tennessee's schedule with games against Kentucky and Georgia looming.
Hey, you think about it. They clear those, right? Things get a little bit different. Ohio State, they still got to go on the road. Penn State, Maryland, finish the season. Of course, hosting Michigan. Get back into their schedule.
I might have a bone to pick with that playoff predictor. Wynn swings it out. It's not going to get much for Dowell. Made that big play a moment ago. Just consider this. I'm not saying that Tennessee's going to lose to Georgia, but if they did, and they went 11-1 and didn't go to the SEC championship game, you have to think the Vols would still have a great chance to get to the college football playoff.
You'd like to think that that would be a definitely already with a qualifying win. Maybe it's a function of how that game goes on November 5th, assuming that both those teams take care of business in the interim.
Pitt, Florida, LSU, and then maybe the win of the year last week. Wynn off the back foot, throws a duck, and it's caught by Dowell near midfield.
Well, Wynn had to unleash this ball. The pressure in his face, he did an excellent job of putting enough air to where Dowell could adjust. I mean, he turned his receiver and Dowell completely around. But you could see that D. Williams had lost where that football was in the air. That's 3 catches for 66 yards for the leading receiver of the Skyhawks.
Graduate player from Lebanon, Tennessee. The Skyhawks at midfield. And that is caught inside the 40 at the 39 by Dowell. It's 11 more.
Look at the hands of Colton Dowell. Watch this concentration. Extension. Brings that ball in, controls it. That's a heck of a snag by Colton Dowell on back-to-back plays.
Might be headed towards another one here today. You got a guy that's in his mid-20s playing quarterback and one at receiver as well, and Wynn this time overthrows Devontae Tanksley, but there is a flag down on the field.
Holding defense, number 36 that gets an eligible receiver. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You see there the penalty called on William Wright, Alyssa.
You guys were talking about this Tennessee team being down some of those starters in their secondary. Well, Brandon Turnage, who came out during that last UT Martin offensive drive, coming out hitting the backstop, he's questionable to return right now with an upper body injury. He did go back into the locker room.
Alyssa, that would be 6 defensive players that Tennessee's without that they had last week play against Alabama. Already 4 penalties, and now the Skyhawks are inside the Volunteer 30 as Franklin doesn't get much. Wesley Walker making the tackle, 2nd and long.
Well, but as you mentioned, Taylor, They've gotten explosive plays in the passing game. The decimation of the Volunteer secondary affording some opportunity to the Skyhawks, definitely taking advantage.
Try Franklin again. Almost lost the ball. It goes backwards and loses 2 or 3. Dejon Terry came in there to make the play.
Nice penetration by Terry as he subs out on the 3rd down, get some pass rushers in there. Terry did a good job of getting upfield quickly. They went with a formation into the boundary, opens up a lot of space to try to run it back to the field side. There's a lot more green grass. Terry did a good job of forcing that run to bubble away from the line of scrimmage.
Where's Colton Dowell, number 15?
He's on the hash mark. He is right here at the top of your screen.
Wynn's eyes go in a different direction, though, and it's picked off. Intercepted. William Wright stepped in front of that Wynn throw, and the sophomore from Nashville gives the ball back to the Vols.
Check that. Circled the wrong guy. Probably should have been where Dresser Wynn went with that football. Instead, he went exactly to where you were talking about, Taylor. Colton Dowell, who's actually right here at the bottom of your screen in the slot. Dresser Wynn, a little bit of pressure around him. You see outside coverage ends up falling off the outside receiver. He gets up underneath this route. Colton Dowell was going to have to pivot back out for that throw, and William Wright gave up the pass earlier with the big interception.
And now it's Jalen Wright who comes into the game, a sophomore from Durham, to get the carry. Wright led going into the game, the Vols in rushing. Small has since passed him. 4 rushing touchdowns on the season. The man from Durham, North Carolina. Hooker fakes to him this time and will throw it. And this is caught out at the 30-yard line by Brew McCoy. It's fascinating to me watching the Josh Heupel offense, Snitch, and just how far away from the football their receivers are. It takes 15, 20 yards to get the ball for a 4 or 5 yard completion.
Yeah, but look how wide the receivers are. They're all the way outside the numbers. Stretches the defense horizontally.
Flag down. It's a first down throw. And it's up near midfield. Is Fant, who scored that touchdown a moment ago, makes the catch for 20.
Offside, defense, number 94. That penalty is declined. The resulting play is first down.
Well, Coach Simpson for UT Martin said they just have fits getting lined up against this fast-paced team.
Well, that time they were in the neutral zone, but Tennessee even does a good job of declining penalties quickly. The head linesman had already signaled they were declining it as they were announcing the penalty.
They have everyone on the staff committed to going so fast on the next play. Even the ball boys are flying down the field, giving the ball back, make sure they run it as quickly as they can. Not much doing there for Wright. It's 14-7 Vols. They got the turnover on the last drive, and they're at midfield on a 2nd and 8. Hooker's got all the time in the world and will take off. High steps for the first down.
So back-to-back plays, Tennessee goes with a heavier formation. More players closer to the ball. As you see, it's an 8-man protection. There's only 2 receivers out in the route, nowhere to go with the football, but here's the problem. You've got this mobile quarterback that can scramble and pick up first downs for you.
Go back to the ground again, and Wright will fall forward down to the 39-yard line. Coach Heupel and Coach Golish were talking about the leadership that Hendon Hooker brings. It's a big reason why this program is probably perceived to be ahead of schedule, with a bunch of players that Heupel didn't recruit. That ball is thrown too far in front of his intended target, McCoy. It's 3rd and 7.
They talked about him, not only his decision-making, his poise in the pocket. We're talking with Josh Heupel. What did you emphasize to Hendon Hooker after last season? He said one of the things was just his pocket presence. Because he's capable of scrambling like he did on the previous play, last season he was a little too reliant on that. Stay in the pocket and allow it to develop downfield. seen it countless times this season. It's one step to your right, it's 2 steps up in the pocket, and then he delivers dimes downfield. That's been a big difference in his play this year.
It is Wright getting a burst down to the 30. A first down for Tennessee.
The best run of the game for Tennessee on the ground outside of the Hooker scramble.
See now 6 of 6 on third down today. This one's going to lose yardage as Wright is bottled up back at the 34-yard line by John Ford, that graduate player from Nashville. You were talking about Stinch that always is near the ball. It's a loss of 4.
Another veteran player for the Skyhawks, and Ford got upfield right now, trying to run a zone.
2nd and 14. Hooker in trouble, and he's sacked back at the 40. Ford was in there, and so was Carson Evans.
UT Martin said they're going to come after him some. He seemed kind of wandering about. They end up triggering. Look at Evans triggering in there late, as did Rob Hicks. Call that a green dog. Just wait. You see if your assignment in coverage stays in. As you see, it's like Kenyante Davis.
That's right.
Shaking up.
Junior from Columbia, Tennessee. He was in there to help make the play with Ford and Evans as they all converged on Hooker. Coach Simpson in his 17th season goes on to the field to check on his defensive linemen. Coach Simpson, of course, was here last week in the stands watching his son's Alabama Crimson Tide team lose to Tennessee. He says the weirdest feeling. Ty, his son, is the 3rd-string quarterback for Tennessee, but to be in the stands to watch your next opponent, something that not many coaches in the history of college football have ever experienced. His son Ty, who now plays for Alabama, grew up a rabid Tennessee Volunteer fan, just as about everybody else does in Martin, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah, I mean, his dad's coaching at a school part of the UT system. Somewhat unique circumstance, right? It worked out that way. He did say that, you know, you watch the game differently when you're there as a parent, as a fan, for lack of a better phrasing. Like he was just, like it was a scouting trip, as you see. The Simpson family there, the Simpson men. Little Graham down there, perhaps grows into the role one day as big brother Ty's already there in Tuscaloosa.
Well, after Coach Simpson's defense forced consecutive negative plays, now 3rd and 19 for the Vols back at the Skyhawk 39.
It's one of the things that Chris Polizzi talked about, defensive coordinator UT Martin. You have to find a way to affect Hendon Hooker.
Hooker doesn't like what he sees. He takes off. He's got a room to run. It's a first down inside the 20.
So you pressure him on 2nd down, you get a sack. On the 3rd down, you rush 3, you have 8 in coverage. Once again, well covered downfield. And Hooker burns you with his legs.
How about Jalen Wright with the block down the field to give him the first down, and a drop touchdown by Fant.
So now we've seen 2 out of the last 4 plays, collective gasps out of the crowd here at Neyland Stadium. Why? A dropped pass and a sack. You don't see much of either of those this season from the Volunteer offense.
And speaking of the crowd, this place is packed. Packed to play an FCS team on homecoming. That's what 6-0 will do. That ball batted down. There is a flag that comes in at the end of the play as Hooker went to the ground. Devin Sims made the play, but could be a late hit on Hendon Hooker here. Thrown in the neighborhood of the quarterback. Kyle Olson and his center judge Chris Garner, the long conversation about it.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense. Half this is all. Automatic first down. We'll have 1 down.
Taylor, you talked about how this Tennessee team, the urgency that they introduced to these games They're so explosive. They don't have very many empty possessions. Next thing you know, you see teams, they commit a ton, an inordinate amount of penalties.
Even a quarter can't end on a defensive penalty. So an untimed down on the 14th play of the drive on a 1st and goal inside the 9. Hooker throws to the end zone and finishes the quarter with a touchdown strike to Keaton.
We talked about how proud they've been with Ramel Keaton's play. You can see why. That ball's put right on his hip. Wasn't bad coverage, but underneath it, Tyler Gore. Volunteers find themselves in the end zone once again. Converting on that takeaway by the Volunteer defense.
And just making sure up here to keep got his arms underneath that ball, and he in fact did for his 2nd touchdown of the season. Three Volunteer possessions all end up in the red zone in the 1st quarter, and all end up in the end zone. It's 21-7. Hendon Hooker has gone 19 straight with a touchdown pass that breaks the all-time Volunteer record. What a season on Rocky Top. This place is stunning in the fall. Coming up next at 4 Eastern, Vandy squares off against Mizzou and Como. In our SEC Saturday night matchup, it's Texas A&M taking on South Carolina from the State Fair in Columbia. Gamecocks, of course, have won 3 in a row going into that game. Both games also available on the ESPN app. Ramel Keaton gets his 2nd touchdown grab of the season. Done a fantastic job spelling Cedric Tillman, and Josh Heupel calls the plays no matter who's on the field. 500 yards of total offense in that win last week against the Crimson Tide. Now a 21-7 lead as Martin will start at their own 25-yard line. I mean, Peyton Manning, Heath Shuler, you think of all the great quarterbacks. None ever threw a touchdown pass in 19 consecutive games like this guy has done, and he wasn't even supposed to be the starter when he came here.
It's just been an epic run for Hendon Hooker. And it's not lost on the coaching staff and what they have in him. They even said, you know, he bought into this system before he became the starter. And he was telling other guys on this team last season, his first couple of games where he didn't start, finally got the nod versus Tennessee Tech. He was saying this system is just a matter of time, guys. And now he's the trigger man.
A reverse, no bueno. That was blown up immediately as the tackle is made there by Solon Page. The linebacker getting a chance to make big plays today with Jawan Mitchell out.
Nice eyes off the edge by Page. You can see him did not get sucked in. As that backside defender, it's easy to over pursue, not just against cutbacks, but reverses. Stayed at home. Huge negative yards play to open this possession for UT Martin.
Senior from Atlanta forcing a 9-yard tackle for loss, and on 2nd and 19, they'll dump it off to Wallace, and he'll get up to the 16-yard line.
We're talking about defensive coordinator Tim Banks, this Volunteer defense, its explosive plays, its takeaways, its chaos plays. This is the most aggressive defense from a blitz standpoint in the SEC. 41% of passing downs, they're bringing more than 4 rushers, but they also want those negative yardage plays. Tackles for loss to force downs just like this one. UT Martin just has to be smart right here, already with 1 turnover.
Wynn gets out of there, and he's tackled up at the 23 by Flowers. 4th down.
Ended up sending 4 deep. Nowhere to go with the football, or anything else affords Dresser Wynn to try to pick up some yards in the scramble game. See if they can't regain some field position. It often doesn't matter versus the Volunteer offense that picks up yards in chunks.
Larko's one of the best punters at any level of college football. He's got a 46-yard average. Not his best the first time, though, just a 36-yarder. This is more like it. D. Williams fields it at the 31. And he's tripped up past the 40. And that's where the Vols will start with 12:47 to go in the second quarter. 46-yard punt, 11-yard return. Let's check out today's Mayhem moment brought to you by Allstate. I want you to watch the back judge and the field judge here. Let's get out of here immediately.
See him, yeah, I mean, there's so much chaos. Now watch the back judge. Here he is right here. I want to watch this cutback. As you see him, he's like, look, here's the point of attack. Wait, nope. Oh, man.
He's elusive.
He saw the defense was collapsing on him. Had to run to daylight.
I'm not sure that kick by McGrath would have been good from 41 or 42, but who cares?
It didn't matter. It was long enough, right? I know this. Those officials got out from underneath those goalposts immediately and couldn't get off the field fast enough.
Hooker at the 42. Starts with a fresh set of downs and all sorts of options to throw a good ball across the middle to Hyatt. Inside the 40 to the 39 for 19 more. This guy has become a star as a junior. Quick over the head of McCoy. 2nd and 10. I just can't get over the game Hyatt had last week. For decades, people will talk about that Alabama win, but they'll also talk about Hyatt. The 5 touchdown passes, smoking cigars with Peyton Manning in the locker room afterwards.
Yeah, the coaches talked about Hyatt as a guy that wanted to be the guy a year ago. And he just hadn't put in the time. He was a speed guy, wasn't physical enough. Today already 3 catches for 72 yards. Last week you could see pretty good game, 6 for 207, 5 touchdowns.
Throw up to the top. Nice move. And down at the 31-yard line is Hyatt. For more on Hooker, let's go down to Alyssa.
You guys were talking about that celebration from last week after the win against Alabama. Well, it was Hendon Hooker's dad's birthday, so of course he celebrated the win by taking his dad to dinner after the game.
Small gets a few. Yeah, there was the biggest party ever, Alyssa, and no matter what, it's time to go to dinner with your dad and celebrate on one of the biggest wins this school has ever had. Threw for 385 yards, 5 touchdowns. Stinch mentioned the interception. He also had that fumble with Small that was recovered for a touchdown. Overcame some turnovers, some adversity in that game that we hadn't seen him face all season yet. First and 10 after Small got it to the 26. And Hooker again all day to throw. It's a little bit behind his intended target, Keaton. 2nd down.
Back-to-back throws were Hendon Hooker a little bit off. Threw it high to the boundary to Brew McCoy. Of course, coming back over, trying to get it to Ramel Keaton. That's something that might have been underestimated about Hendon Hooker's game was his accuracy. And a lot of the throws without Cedric Tillman, the offense has become more oriented over the middle. When you've got Cedric Tillman out there, defenses and his speed on the edge, it's more downfield, outside the numbers passing. Now they're spending more time over the middle in his absence.
Wright goes down near the 22, and it'll be a 3rd down for Tennessee from there. They are 8 of 8 so far on 3rd down today. Just 45% coming into the game, but sensational so far. Going for it all. Overshooting 2 receivers, and again crashing into the side of the stands. Goes Keaton.
Yeah, you could see him working that right arm. Wonder if he got a little bit of a stinger. This ball's right at the back of the end zone, and his momentum carries him into the wall. Thankfully, he kind of curled away from it. And as we mentioned, again, there's more room here in Neyland than there is most.
Guess how long this field goal attempt is?
40?
Biggest
How's that
kick
math?
in the 21st century for Tennessee was 40 yards last week. Here's another one. And this one is crushed right through there. The fifth-year senior from Newport Beach, California makes the score 24-7. 40 years ago to the day, on the same field in Knoxville, head coach Johnny Majors and his upstart Tennessee Vols stunned the great Paul Bear Bryant and his undefeated and second-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide 35-28. Last week's win ended a 15-year losing streak, and the win in '82 ended a 12-year drought. The Bear, gracious as always, was waiting for Majors to congratulate him at midfield in what would serve as the Bears' last game in the rivalry, passing away 3 months later. And then, as you just saw, just like last Saturday, the goalpost came down and went into the Tennessee River.
I wonder, did all of it make it into the river? Because as we know, all of it was in the river for a time.
We don't need Alyssa to go back in the river again, if that's what
she's got her scuba gear. What's she going to do at halftime? Swing by the river.
24-7 as Paxton Brooks kicks off, and Martin will get it at the 25. Mr. Burns, what you got for us in the studio?
All right, Taylor, how about Tennessee Vols now starting to look outside the footprint when it comes to college football playoff stuff? Fifth-ranked Clemson about to punch it in. DJ Uiagalelei, no! It's a scoop and score. Syracuse takes it all the way to the house orange, up 14-7, boys.
Looking forward to halftime, catching us up on those games across the country. The SEC slate: Ole Miss, LSU 3:30, Vandy and Mizzou at 4, Bama and Mississippi State at 7, A&M and the Gamecocks all at 7:30. So fumble on the first play. Sam Franklin coughs it up and gives it right back to the Vols. Aaron Beasley picking it up, Stitch.
Yeah, and the takeaways. Talk about the big plays, the chaos plays, the takeaways by the defense. Great job coming up, just raking that ball out. Trayvon Flowers was the one that got it out of there. Franklin carrying the ball on the inside arm. Flowers able to come in there, rake it out. A second takeaway by the Volunteer defense this afternoon.
Consecutive possessions, too. Tennessee scored on all 4 of their possessions, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. Small, look at that fancy footwork inside the 25, inside the 23 for 9.
Hadn't been a ton of running room, so this is another way to get your backs going. Small out there. Look at him. At least 2 tacklers miss.
On 2nd and 1. Making tackles. There he goes again. Jalen Hyatt back in the checkerboards.
Well, last year he was a speed guy. See Ramel Keaton out there. Look, he's got to run through a tackler. He got it well defended. It wasn't as if there was a ton of room. Hyatt was a speed guy last year. Josh Heupel talked about he's more physical this year.
It's his 11th touchdown catch of the year. He wanted to be a good player. Now he's doing the work to be a great player.
Well, so here's a guy that couldn't really find himself on the field last year. Now he's torching it this year. 6 catches, 207 yards, 5 touchdowns. You're not going to see that hardly ever. And he caught him largely out of the slot. 9 of his 10 touchdowns on the year have been from that spot. much more physical. Wasn't just a speed guy, which is how he was described a season ago. Today, only 5 catches for 102 yards and a touchdown, and we're not even through the second quarter. Nowhere close.
And they put up 30-plus points for a 10th straight game. They had 206 points through the first 6 games, which is a Tennessee record in the SEC era. Of course, that goes back to 1933. And then how about what they did to Alabama last week? 52 points against Crimson Tide. It's the most Alabama's given up since 1907, when a little school about an hour and a half from here called the University of the South, aka the Sewanee Purple Tigers, put up 54 on Alabama.
That's just a storied football program at Sewanee that continues to this day.
At a different level, of course. Uh-oh, down goes Wynn. Facing heavy pressure, unblocked was Solon Page.
Page having himself a day. Stepped out of reverse earlier. Well, it comes off the edge. Just late response by Gavin Olson. Able to get in there. Another negative yardage play. The 4th tackle for loss.
Tyree West got in there too. Trying to pave the way for Page to make that play. It's 14-7 and Skyhawks were driving in UT territory, and since then the Vols have put an end to that. Zach Wallace doesn't get much, 3rd and long.
Think about those short fields, right? A couple of turnovers. Skyhawks were moving the football. They got an interception. Tennessee, excellent in converting those possessions. And of course, the other piece of it too is this Volunteer team, they don't punt much. If they possess the football, they're going for points. If it's not touchdowns, it's field goals. In their 3 SEC contests, they only punted it 3 times. It's unbelievable what they've done this year.
Timeout. UT Martin. Their first and a half. 30 seconds.
8:55 to go in the second quarter with the Vols up 31-7. Looking to get to 7-0 before they bring Kentucky here next Saturday night. Monday at 7 Eastern, we have the next Thinking Out Loud with Spencer Hall and Richard Johnson. They'll break down the weekend on the gridiron, talk about the hottest topics for the coming weekend, preview Saturday's biggest games. It's right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. We're on opposite sides of the aisle, Stinch and me, on the Ole Miss LSU game today. That'll be something fun to watch at 3:30. Alyssa, you have to break the tie. Ole Miss or LSU in Tiger Town tonight?
Oh man, you guys are putting me on the spot with this one. I think I'm going to lean Ole Miss just based on what we've seen so far this season, but I am very wary of the second half of the Rebels' schedule because it gets a whole lot tougher than their first 6 games.
Sure was impressed by Brian Kelly and his team in the swamp last Saturday after Tennessee whipped them down there 2 weeks ago.
So, yeah, that was a beatdown. LSU lost that game early to Tennessee. A ton of mistakes. The Vols just put them into the avalanche of points.
3rd and 17. Wynn will step up and just throw it to the sideline. It is caught by Tanksley, but way short of the first down. Since UT Martin scored that touchdown, Stench, interception, punt, fumble, punt.
And Tennessee, in their attacking style, forcing those negative yardage plays, nowhere close to being on schedule offensively, putting the Skyhawks offense in a deep hole. And as we talked about this, what they do is not just play defense with their defenders, but they play defense with the scoreboard. They have been putting teams behind significantly and early.
Larko off the side of his foot. Williams fields it at the 40. Watch out, here comes D. Inside the 30. Tennessee will start with terrific field position.
Williams fielded it. You're sitting there going, man, run right up the sideline. Heck of a tackle there late. The just phenomenal field position. Special teams coming up big for the Vols now. See the first half summary, my goodness. A couple turnovers by UT Martin. This is the 40th play already for the Vol offense.
It's a good one. Down to the 20, where the catch is made by Walker Merrill, a sophomore from over near Nashville, for 7 more. Hooker to the other sideline. That doesn't get much of anything. As Squirrel White, that's Jalen Hyatt's backup, who makes his 6th catch of the season. Now 3rd down, with Hooker under center. Small, and it's a 1st down right at the stick at the 17.
They do it so operationally, it's really impressive. I mean, you go from the stack formation, spread, then you bring both those guys in, and it's a condensed formation for short yardage.
To the end zone, touchdown, Tennessee, it's Keaton again.
Ty Woods in coverage came up earlier and made a great play versus Squirrel White. This time you see it, they bluff. They bluff the wide receiver screen. Keaton just kind of hitched a little bit. It's not really a double move. He's just acting like he's going to block you. Get you to stop your feet. Grass punching it through the uprights again for the point after. Balls are rolling.
38-7 on homecoming. When you think of Tennessee legends, you need to start with her. Pat Summitt, the standard in women's basketball coaching, starting her career here in 1974. She's a UT Martin grad, by the way, as we celebrate her every day, but especially today. 50 years ago, Title IX was started. That's the light blue for the Lady Vols today. So late, great Coach Summitt would have loved to see these two teams on the field. Came from that northwest corner of Tennessee, playing for the Skyhawks back in the early 1970s before she became a Vol for life.
See there in the middle. Look at the flow Coach Summitt had back as a player. One of the best coaches any sport has ever seen. Great motivator, disciplinarian. Obviously, those teams that she built, it was truly a dynasty.
They showed her singing Rocky Top when she came out in that UT cheerleader outfit to a men's game years ago. The place went crazy. They showed that just a little while ago. Deep ball and win. It's incomplete. Dowell had it in his breadbasket. 2nd down.
Well, he laid it out there. Dowell had a chance on that ball. Just couldn't quite corral it. Lesser Wynn laid it out there for him nicely. Just a couple times where the Skyhawks had taken an opportunity downfield, just couldn't convert on that one. So we mentioned the ball's down a lot of bodies there in the secondary.
Franklin gets up to the 30, or just close to it. It'll be 3rd down for UT Martin from there. Tennessee's defense, top 10 in the country rushing defense, but 129th in America stopping the pass. Defensive coordinator Tim Banks, you just saw a moment ago, said, I don't care what any of the stats are. Do we have more points than they do? Win off the back foot and throws behind Dowell, 4th down.
Tennessee showed pressure that time, bailed out their 2 inside linebackers. Pretty good protection. 5-on-4 up front. Wynn locked in there, trying to force it in there to Dallahad. Tanksley underneath, maybe for the yardage needed. The pressure has been affecting, I think, UT Martin's quarterback as this game has unfolded.
Larko punting for the 4th time. Has been punting bullets right at D. Williams, and he's had success fielding. This is going to bounce in front of D. And off of 2 hops, he picks it up and doesn't get much. Let's go back to the studio and PB.
What up, Czar? Coming up on the Farm Ranch Halftime Report, we'll get you ready for LSU and Ole Miss Top 25 scoreboard as well. But we've been having some conversations in here. What does this 2022 Tennessee team remind you of? What are you laughing at?
What do you want him to say?
I've been paid to say it reminds us of the 2019 LSU team.
Does that help? Is that what you want?
Look at this. Listen, I think there's a comp to be made right now. Maybe not,
good, but we'll see.
Boys?
Excited to see you boys in just a little bit. Tennessee scored on all 6 possessions this half, and Hooker's got a wide open receiver again, catching it like a punt. Inside the 20 is Keaton. Excuse me, make that White, Squirrel White getting loose.
Busted coverage right away, and again, this ball hung up there for a long time. The coverage was so blown, Devin Sims had almost enough time to recover. Squirrel White ran out of his shoe there.
He had to go to the sideline, and Hyatt comes back in.
Because of that substitution, of course, UT Martin can sub. It's just not something you see very often when teams face the Volunteers.
Hooker wanted to throw it to Hyatt, but takes off instead. Gets down to the 16-yard line. They like Squirrel White a lot. They think that he's going to emerge as a real difference maker, if not by the end of this season, then next year.
Yeah, that was a bust by Hyatt. Heupel was pretty frustrated.
Hooker throws to Hyatt and almost got it picked off, and Jalen just wrestled that football away from Tyler Gore.
Josh Heupel wants Squirrel White to get back in there. You could see him a second ago. He was looking back over to the sideline like, is he ready to go back in? Hyatt ended up taking an extra snap and definitely frustrated over there on the sideline.
So Hyatt will take a break. Already 6 catches for 108 yards and a touchdown after that epic performance against Alabama last week. Running play and a touchdown. 11 yards for Fant, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. Senior from Nashville, Princeton Fant, has seen 3 different coaching staffs in his time in Knoxville. He has been through it all, and he has emerged as a true playmaker in Josh Heupel's offense.
Fant had that drop earlier and have a touchdown reception too. So watch, here's Brew McCoy. What they're gonna do is blow him through the backfield. Here's Fant. He's lined up right here. Hendon Hooker under center. See that Summit blue sock. Brew McCoy does a good job of selling the fly sweep, and Fant does a great job of bouncing that run outside. It was intended to go right downhill. No running room there, and Fant did a great job of bouncing it to the boundary. It's up with yet another Tennessee touchdown.
Team headed towards 7-0. One of the best marks in the country, and it's the first time they've received first place votes in the AP poll since 1999. Just gives you a sense of why everyone went so wild last Saturday, because of what this program has endured in the last 14, 15 years.
Yeah, they should have gotten a lot more than that first place votes. I'm surprised they aren't considered the #1 team in the country based on the games that they've played.
Could be if the College Football Playoff Committee was ready to rank them. Tonight, wrap up Week 8 with SEC football final. Dari, CD, Benjamin, and Takio. They'll take you through the biggest stories of the day, break down all the games. That's at 10:30 Eastern or whenever the Aggies and Gamecocks are done, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. I think it's a good point. Falls were offside in the kick, so UT Martin will get it at the 30. Now, Florida, LSU, Pitt, all are no longer in the top 25. But Alabama, you could argue, is the win of the season in college football. No one has a resume like Tennessee does right now.
No question. I mean, without a doubt, that is the win of the season. It's certainly a validating one in that regard.
And how about what I'm looking at on the ESPN app? Syracuse leads Clemson, number 5 Clemson, 21-7. It's in Clemson, South Carolina. DJ Nelson on the catch for UT Martin for 8.
Think about Clemson, they had that near miss. Overtime victory over Wake Forest. Think about that team, that conference, not a lot of challenges. Of course, Syracuse came into this game today undefeated. The Tigers more than they want.
2nd and 2, it's a first down. It's been a minute since Martin had one of those. And his Dowell gets up to the 45-yard line. Those are all of your undefeated teams. Michigan, boy, they looked great against Penn State last week. Dogs are starting to look like that #1 team in the country the last couple times out.
Of course, UCLA's got Oregon today.
Wynn gets out of there and throws it into the Volunteer bench. Let's take another look at this. You mentioned UCLA and Oregon, game day there this morning, playing each other today. Syracuse, if they win against Clemson, will skyrocket up. Ole Miss in Baton Rouge in a couple hours.
Georgia, Tennessee, of course, they play one another. I mean, you're talking about Michigan, Ohio State, they play one another.
It's kind of a shame TCU played Oklahoma State at the same time as Tennessee, Alabama last week, because nobody saw that.
Yeah, there was no appreciation for what the Horned Frogs were able to get done. But you're guaranteed, those are your, if chalk holds, your in-season playoff type games.
Wynn has to throw it, and it's incomplete to Fields. Sort of just a throwaway as Wynn was running for his life again.
They're just winning the battles up front. Tennessee's able to collapse the pocket that time inside out. Wynn having to flush, throw as he's retreating. Hard to put anything on those footballs.
Volunteer defense has been stout on this down. UT Martin is 0 for 5 converting on thirds. Wynn will dump it off. Franklin breaks a tackle, and he's short of the first down. Out at the 47. It'll be 4th and a couple. Wesley Walker preventing the first.
You see the Skyhawks going to go for it. Obviously, this game has gotten away from them on the scoreboard. You're in plus territory. See if you can't capitalize on the field position.
Timeout, Tennessee. Their first half. 30 seconds.
Alyssa, how about Josh Heupel and the start he's off to this year?
It's been pretty incredible to watch, guys. I know Tennessee fans feel that way as well, and many around the country have had their eyes on this Volunteer team going into UT Martin, wondering if there would be any kind of hangover effect from what we saw a week ago. Would this team come out? Would they start fast? Would they be motivated to go out here and do what they need to do? Well, we asked Coach Heupel yesterday during meetings. You got Kentucky coming up. You've got Georgia coming up. That game against the Dogs. on the road. How do you keep this team motivated and looking forward? And he said, hey, these guys understand we still have so many games left to play. We still have so much left to prove. He talked about this being a player-led team. He described in practice going over to make corrections, and before he can even get to a guy, a teammate is over there coaching him up. And that's exactly what I've seen on the sidelines today. Not a lot of back and forth needed between assistant coaches and these players. They coach each other up every single minute.
Great perspective there, and it's so true. If you're around him at all, it's obvious. He gets lost in the sauce. 4th and 2 on a dropped, and it's incomplete. They're still going to call this a live ball. Nope, now they say incomplete. Flag comes in at the end of the play. Looked like that was the right call, as obviously Wynn had trouble with that snap. I was saying before, Heupel gets lost in the process of doing what you need to do each day. That ball appears like it's going a bit forward, Stinch.
Yeah. And I think it was the timing of the snap relative to the fly sweep motion that disrupted the center quarterback exchange. There's Coach.
After play, personal foul, unnecessary reference, defense, number 9. That 15-yard penalty be enforced. 15 yards, first down, Tennessee.
It's after the play, so Martin, it's still a turnover on downs as the Vols get the football back with 2:35 to go. Let's go back to what Alyssa was talking about with Coach Heupel. When I say lost in the sauce, I mean the sauce of making this team special every single week. This guy has no time for all the outside noise. Whether his teams are good or bad, he loves coaching ball. And even through the biggest win he's ever had, it was noticeable all week long. He's focused on what's next.
Yeah, he said, my routine really doesn't change, regardless of what's happening in the course of the season. We talked about all the media attention and folks probably pulling at him from a million different directions. He's like, yeah, well, I mean, my routine's pretty much the same. And as we see a change in quarterback, Joe Milton in there for the Vols.
Hendon Hooker's a roommate. Comes in at quarterback and hands off to Small, and Jabari will get a couple. You don't see that very often, right? In this day and age, when you lose the starting job to someone else, well, you just look elsewhere and go play somewhere else. This is a backwards pass, and Vance got Hyatt. Here he goes again. Princeton Fant does not have a receiving touchdown today. He's got a passing touchdown and 2 rushing touchdowns. Well, the Vols last week put up 52 on the Tide. They've done that to UT Martin in the first half.
If I'm Joe Milton, I'm going, hey, man, I could have thrown this. You see Hyatt juggled his way, caught that ball about 3 times. Ends up in the end zone. Double pass with a huge lead made even larger.
Guys just putting up unbelievable numbers. Over 150 yards receiving today. after over 200 last week. Over 700 yards receiving on the season for Hyatt and 12 touchdowns. Offense is truly like watching a video game. Tried to get Josh Heupel's opinion on if this was Nirvana, like this is the best it's ever hummed as a play caller at either OU, Mizzou, UCF, or here. He said he wouldn't really look at it that way, but you certainly could argue it's never been better.
Yeah, he's got to be pleased. There's no doubt. Even the performance and focus that his team performed with in this first half.
Wallace is going to lose yardage. Ball's on offense, 50 plays, over 400 yards and 52 points. They have Kentucky coming to town next Saturday night in Neyland Stadium. You know this place will be rocking for that game, which will be on ESPN. Win goes down at the 20. Tyree West has had a good game so far.
You know, and looking at Tennessee's defensive numbers, they call timeout, trying to squeeze another possession here in the first half. You can see just rushing 4 and able to get home. Big gain, big twist up front. And run a double pass. Get in the end zone again. Call a timeout, try to squeeze in another possession here in the first half versus UT Martin. Interesting strategy.
Martin on a 3rd and 15 from their own 20. They have not converted a third down today. That's a good ball. And it goes to Dowell up to the 34. Be 4th down and a yard from there.
Dowell, as you see that, is just shy of the sticks. The Skyhawk offense stays out on the field, opportunity to at least get this conversion after that big catch. Dowell wasn't able to corral a pass earlier, obviously had the deep ball. Has been a favorite target of Dresser Wynn, something that's certainly not lost on the Volunteer defense.
T. Martin's going to call timeout.
They're looking at a 4th down. Of course, if you're going to go for it, you certainly don't want to.
It's a hard game to coach.
Yeah.
If you're an FCS program and you're Jason Simpson in his 17th year, he's got a good team this year. You get a lot of money out of playing this game. This is huge for your athletic department. Coming off a 10-plus win season last year, getting to the playoffs. And again, we talked with him this week, and he believes this team is better than last year's team. Has a chance to get into December playoff football again.
Well, you can see last year, really good football team. As you mentioned, they've got high aspirations this year. So far undefeated in the Ohio Valley Conference. After bleeding down that clock right before timeout, just trying to squeeze as much as they can off of that clock, try to make it into halftime.
So instead of going for it, Larco comes out on 4th and 1. Williams is going to run away from it, and It'll be down at the 17-yard line. So 58-yard punt.
Ball is illegally touched the 25-yard line. First down at 25.
All right. Closer to a 50-yard punt since it was touched there. And here comes Joe Milton again. We were saying before Fant threw the touchdown pass, you know, Milton lost the job at Michigan a couple of years ago, Stinch. He transferred to Tennessee, and no shot at Joe Milton. This is what happens. And nowadays, if you lose a job, you go someplace else. You wondered when Hooker beat him out at the beginning of the season last year if Joe might try to find another spot to play this year. Instead, he's Hooker's roommate. Look at the size on him. It's just massive guy. 6'5", 250-pounder. Gets 8 yards.
I think it speaks to the culture that's been built in very short order at Tennessee. Likes it here. As you see the last play of the first half, Milton easily, as you mentioned, could have headed elsewhere, didn't want to. That happened pretty quickly. It's well before all these wins started piling up.
You can watch Tennessee's Pride of the Southland Band on the app. It's streaming live now on ESPN and SEC Plus. 52 points in 4 quarters against the Tide, 52 at halftime against UT Martin. Already 434 yards of offense. And Coach Heupel's with Alyssa.
Coach, outside of their first offensive possession, punts or turnovers for your defense, how would you evaluate their performance?
Obviously, first drive, didn't like our execution there. Thought we've applied pressure, handled the run game, and found a way to create some turnovers too, like a lot of them.
What do you want to see more of from your offense in the second half?
Yeah, just cleaner execution. There's some things that we can be better in protection in the run game and throwing and catching it too.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Let's send it back to the studio now as Peter Burns and the crew will take over and tell you what's happening across college football.
Thank you.
It's SEC football presented by Allstate. It is a beautiful Saturday for homecoming in Knoxville, and the Volunteers are whipping the Skyhawks 52-7. He's the College Football Hall of Famer, Matt Stinchcomb. I'm Taylor Zarzer. He's also a Georgia High School Football Hall of Famer, Parkview High School Hall of Famer, going into the Hall of Fame tonight. Congratulations. A man that'll probably go into the South Carolina High School Hall of Fame one day is Jalen Hyatt, who plays for the University of Tennessee.
And we talk about how efficient this Volunteer offense is. Well, when you've got 7 targets with 7 catches, only 2 touchdowns. So, last week he had 6 catches, 5 touchdowns. Still a half of football yet to play. And one of those catches probably should have gone to Squirrel White because he was missing a shoe. Hyatt gets back in there on the double pass to put the Vols up 44 points on UT Martin. And Jalen Hyatt is just stacking up performances now at wide receiver.
It's close to 400 yards in the last 6 quarters. Hendon Hooker's day is done. Threw for 276 and 3 touchdowns. Gets a hug from Navy Schuler. Navy's dad, Heath, threw a touchdown pass in 18 straight. Hooker's now done it 19 straight under Josh Heupel's guidance. And the Volunteers will get the football first. We did see Joe Milton finish the half. Taven Jackson, the true freshman quarterback, Gaston Moore, and Navy Schuler. We may see all those guys before the day is done. It's time now for Every Detail Counts, brought to you by Pfizer. How about these stats?
Yeah, pretty prolific. Look at those third down numbers by Tennessee. 10 of 11 on thirds. Red zone, of course, has been outstanding. 1 field goal attempt. And, defensively, when you look at what Tennessee was able to generate, 14 points off of the turnovers, an interception, a fumble, and boy, are they balanced. Now, couple of these are scrambles, but of their 50 plays that they ran in the first half, 25 passes, 25 runs.
It's an important distinction between number 5 and number 7. Sampson goes ahead to the 29-yard line. Joe Milton is a 5th-year senior, not a 6th year like Hendon Hooker, meaning we might see Milton back here in Knoxville next year.
And a guy that obviously, Alex Golesh was talking about how well he has handled this entire scenario. You touched on it earlier, opportunities to head elsewhere, chose to stay here with this team and this offense.
Just a pitch ahead. Nice hit,
Man.
Nice open field tackle made on White.
O'Shea Baker, great job. He not only diagnosed this play quickly, but closed a lot of grass to get upfield on Squirrel White.
It's a loss on the play, and now 3rd and 8.
Obviously, Tennessee here in the second half with a pretty massive margin right now, far more, we'll call it deliberate offensively.
Milton's got all day, and there's an open receiver down to the 35-yard line is Jimmy Holiday.
Holiday again, he's so wide open, and he's wide open so early. He kind of double clutches this pass. We saw Jalen Hyatt kind of wrestle with his touchdown reception.
38-yard catch for Holiday, just his 3rd of the year. Hooker's got all day again. Why not go through the route tree to the end zone and to the 1 goes Walker Merrill. They don't care, don't look at it. Let's just score on the next play. First and goal.
And how quickly they're fighting to get over the ball.
No one was set.
Ball was set, replay. Replay, please.
You go so fast that even the officials aren't ready.
Well, you can see, I mean, this is Tennessee. It's not just the ball boys or the receivers. Did you see Merrill? Like, he was just shy of the goal line. You see Squirrel White trying to help the officials out. Offenses are usually very good about that. But it's not just the ball boys or the skills. The center has to get up over the ball quickly.
There goes Sampson into the end zone for his 4th touchdown of the season. Vols want to become more effective in the running game with Small, Wright, and Sampson. All have had solid seasons. If there's any nitpicking done by Josh Heupel and his staff, it's seeing the more dominant ground attack. That's missed. 58-7 is McGrath. 2nd straight week misses an extra point. Sorry, that was Toby Wilson that missed that one instead of McGrath. So it's 58-7 after Sampson's touchdown. It is SEC football presented by Allstate. A beautiful Saturday in Knoxville, Tennessee for homecoming. Volunteers ranked 3rd in America after the win against Alabama, up 58-7 on another school in the UT system. The Skyhawks of UT Martin. Toby Wilson puts his right foot into it, and UT Martin will start at the 25, Alyssa.
Yeah, guys, just a quick update on Brandon Turnage, the Tennessee defensive back who went out in the first half. He is back out on the sidelines. He's wearing sweatpants. He will be out for the remainder of the game, but Tennessee has told me that it is nothing that will carry into next week. He should be fine to go after this. Just precautionary with Tennessee having such a big lead at this point.
A lot of guys back for that game. We don't know if Tillman will be back at receiver or not, but the offense is humming without him. But defensively, Kamal Hadden, Christian Charles, you know about the Jalen McCullough situation off of the field, Jawan Mitchell. Ball is dropped. Stench, all that would be big to have the Volunteer defensive guys that are all starters against Kentucky next Saturday night.
No question. You know, Kentucky, fully healthy now. Chris Rodriguez with a couple of ball games under his belt now. Missed the opening part of the season. And certainly Tim Banks looking forward to having his full complement of players available on game day.
Wallace ahead to the 28-yard line. Kentucky is one of 5 teams that is not playing this weekend. Florida and Georgia, of course, playing next week down in Jacksonville. Dogs, one of 3 teams in the SEC that remains unbeaten in conference play and overall, just like Tennessee and Ole Miss. Skyhawks are 0 for 7 on 3rd down today. And that is thrown wide of the mark, but flags come in on a potential late hit.
Multiple flags came in there late. Or if they're saying they came in high on the passer.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 9. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's Tyler Barron. See him come in there late. They're saying, look, ball's out. Not necessary. Wasn't overly violent. Earned him a trip to the sideline. You could see that there's definitely some more intentionality there around protecting the passer, especially when you have an opportunity to pull up.
Out at the 43, and Wallace stays on his feet past midfield.
Tennessee's done a pretty good job in this game. Taylor, stopping the run. They gave up the one explosive right early on, the one scoring drive for UT Martin, but given how shorthanded they've been, an excellent job, especially along the line of scrimmage.
Wallace, first down to the Volunteer 45. Certainly, as we said earlier in the program, statistically, Tennessee's defense is near the bottom of college football and the conference for that matter. But Tim Banks' defense has been great in the red zone and great at getting off of the field no matter how many yards they give up each possession. There's an incompletion.
They came into this game 4th in the conference in takeaways. They had 11. You can add a couple more today in both categories. 1 fumble, 1 pick. That's huge. You can make a living off of that. People will say, oh, what about the pass defense? Well, part of that's a function of you're playing with a lot of leads and you're facing a lot more pass attempts. The inverse of that is, of course, done a much better job versus the run. They don't see a lot of runs. They won't, obviously, again here today.
Wallace can't go anywhere. No gain. 3rd down as that Volunteer front converges on him again.
The other piece, the negative yardage plays, they average 6.5 a game. Today they're on pace to eclipse that, of course, at 5. And another 3rd and long. It's just so challenging for any of these offenses. You get in one mode and one mode only. then third and obvious. Makes it that much more difficult. And Tennessee has only been rushing 4.
Amari McNeil got to the tailback on that last play as one of those 4. Clean pocket this time, and Colton Dowell grabs it at the 31.
You can see why Colton Dowell, Skyhawk receiver, one of the best ones, and why Dresser Wynn looks to him in clutch moment. He's the most targeted receiver they have on third down.
Wynn has Dowell open, and Dowell gets drilled inside the 10, and here comes a flag. This could be big on Danico Slaughter. He's pointing at his left shoulder. Dowell is still down on the field.
Yeah. There's Dowell. He was open early in the route. Ball gets there a little late. You see Danico Slaughter.
Targeting defense, number 0. That play is under video review.
I'm surprised they didn't throw a flag for taunting. Standing over an opponent like that after a big hit. To me, it looks like, yeah, I'm shocked that there's not a taunting coming out after that shot, but I'm not sure this isn't a clean hit, other than that look actually made it appear as if it was crown of the helmet. Certainly some contact to Colton Dowell's
Dowell is
head neck.
Converging with Slaughter as the ball gets there, and so it's not as if there's a true spear there by Slaughter, to your point. There is helmet-to-helmet contact, but this is the ultimate judgment call by Birmingham and the SEC team here. Yep. And if it's upheld, Stinch, Slaughter misses the first half against Kentucky next week. So this is a huge call, given the game next Saturday night and given the injuries that Tennessee currently has in the secondary. And of course, is Jalen McCullough going to play next week?
Exactly. You're talking about 2 guys in the back end. And yeah, to me, so you see him lower his head, crown of the helmet. And so that takes the head and neck out of it. It's contact with the crown of the helmet. And I wonder if that's what they're scrutinizing the most. It's good to see Colton Dowell. He's walking off under his own power. It was a big, big hit that he took.
After video review, there is no targeting on the play. The result of the play is an incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 31-yard line.
That's important too. It was ruled an incomplete pass. Change the targeting call. Slaughter stays in the game this week and in the first half next week.
Yeah, I don't know, interesting. You can see his face mask lower. They did change what's considered the crown of the helmet. Apparently that was not a lowering of the head.
Dowell goes over to the sideline. Good to see that. Seems like he's okay. He's pointing at his lip. Second and 10 after all of that, an incompletion. The Skyhawks still at the Volunteer 31. Where does Wynn go without his man Dowell on the field? Under pressure, throws it away.
We talked about the pressure, how it's building, right? Dresser Wynn, a couple completions. Obviously facing now a 3rd down without his favorite receiver in Colton Dowell. He's on the sideline after being shaken up. Now it's where do you go with this football? We have not seen a ton of targets. Devontae Tanksley had a drop earlier.
outside, and it's caught by Zoe Roberts, but short of the first down at the 23. It'll be 4th and 2.
See, obviously, offense staying out there. Banksley not even in the lineup right now for UT Martin.
Top 2 pass catchers, Tanksley and Dowell, both off of the field on 4th down. Coach Simpson was trying to call timeout, and this is a busted play. It's incomplete. Barron giving Wynn all kinds of pressure, and it's a turnover on downs.
So a variety of wins. Variety of wins that time for that Tennessee stop defensively. Not only do you keep Danico Slaughter in the game, but you force an empty possession for the Skyhawks.
Stitch, you're taking a look at this to see if the receiver was in bounds here. And the other question is, did he have enough for the first down?
As you see,
it's Randy Fields.
He leaves his feet. Now that, see, his right foot is down, but where's the ball? It definitely looks like he caught the football. His right toe would have made contact with the turf while he possessed it. Where's the ball when he does so?
They looked at it. Tennessee's offense and UT Martin's defense is on the field, so nothing's going to change, and it means the Volunteers will get the football. Not enough evidence to overturn the call for Coach Simpson's team. Not sure what the delay is here with Kyle Olson keeps looking over at the UT Martin bench, but
talking to the official with the down marker. They're trying to resetting, I think, where the sticks were.
Get as much time on this sun-drenched Saturday at Neyland Stadium as you can. Dylan Sampson goes straight ahead, and he picks up 7. Stitch, what do you notice in the Tennessee ground game so far this season? The passing game is talked about throughout college football.
Well, despite today's efforts, I haven't seen a ton of running room, but for sure they've been able to establish a good bit more knockback. What's that mean? You're displacing that defensive line. Showed up a lot last week. It has not shown up a ton this week. As you see there, inside run, they're going to be coming up short with the line to gain. But oftentimes what you'll see is Tennessee will be over the ball so quickly, defenses, they don't have their cleats in the ground. So when they come off on some of their run concepts, and counter was a good one for them last week.
Going to go on 4th and 1. See if they're just going to try to draw them off or actually snap it. Here they go. And it's a first down. And it's Sampson free down inside the 25.
Well, you commit to the line of scrimmage, you got to make plays. Connor Evans can't make it. Once you get past him, rather it was John Ford. There's not many defenders left to make a play.
45-yard gain. Now Hooker wants to go to the air, to the end zone. Milton, to the air, and Holiday incomplete. So get so used to saying Hendon Hooker's name that Joe Milton, of course, spelling Hooker after his first half, and Bounces off of Holiday, incomplete.
I think it's the alliteration, right? Hendon Hooker. It just rolls off the tongue. Talking about the run game, there's largely the backups in there along the front now, of course. But that was an element that Coach Heupel said needed to improve. They wanted to be more physical, more finish in the run game.
Sampson, wide open space to roam, and he gets inside the 20. Good tackle by Rob Hicks.
See Hicks, why he's such a good football player. Called his name a couple of times. Got underneath the pulling guard.
Milton. There's going to be a holding penalty on Tennessee. Hunter Salmon, the junior from Birmingham, the tight end.
Holding, offense, number 89. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Third down.
Also, 89 right here. What ends up happening is you see that edge rush. Rob Hicks kind of collapses. You got to turn loose. It's hard to know, right? You never know when that quarterback's trying to escape, but as soon as he does, that defender's going to try to detach. You got to cut loose.
Volunteers put up 52 in the first half this week after 52 against the Tide last Saturday. Milton, and he throws that incomplete. It's now fourth down.
A couple of fourth downs faced this unit. Of course, looks like an opportunity for a field goal. Of course, the game clock had been stopped after the incomplete pass. Tennessee more deliberate, doesn't do anything as far as shortening the game as they look to the sideline.
After Toby Wilson had missed that extra point, they bring back Chase McGrath. This is a 46-yard attempt. Just barely hooks that to the left. 58-7 Tennessee on homecoming, fourth Saturday in October.
Time for the AT&T 5G Studio Update. Second-ranked Buckeyes in action at home against Iowa. Remember Marvin Harrison? Well, he's got a son, Marvin Harrison Jr. They play about the same. All Buckeyes right now up 30.
Thank you, PB. Meanwhile, number 5 Clemson trailing number 14 Syracuse 21-10. As they start the fourth quarter, Clemson is driving there.
Quarterback change in that game?
Yeah, DJ Uiagalelei is out. Zach Wallace is running hard for the Skyhawks up to the 35-yard line. There's a couple of really interesting games to me as we go through the next 6 or 7 weeks. Certainly not looking past Tennessee-Kentucky next week. That'll be a great game here next Saturday night. If Tennessee wins that, we've got 2 undefeated teams playing in Athens as Smoot makes the first down grab in 2 weeks, assuming Georgia beats Florida, assuming Tennessee beats Kentucky. You got undefeated Georgia against undefeated Tennessee. And then what if Ohio State and Michigan are undefeated playing each other on Thanksgiving weekend? The losers of those games, those 2 games, could both be 11-1, not going to their conference championship games, but could still get into the playoffs. Great catch by Smoot at the Tennessee 45.
A big hit there in the secondary. Clean shot that time by Andre Turrentine, and Smoot, great job maintaining possession on that ball.
15-yard completion for the junior from Beggs, Oklahoma. And this is George Qualls. Nice catch and turn down to the 31-yard line. 13 more. Sam Franklin will come back and stand next to Dresser Wynn. He's thrown for almost 200 yards. This one deflected in the air, and Wynn almost got it back and threw it to the ground.
Everybody holds their breath. And whenever that ball's deflected up.
Joshua Josephs.
Yeah. Dresser Wynn. Just looking to get that ball to the ground.
Josephs, the freshman from Stinchcombe country over in Kennesaw, Georgia. Did you play against North Cobb High School?
No. We never made it over there. They weren't in our region.
Franklin, he's inside the 25.
Nice job that time, backside counter. Good job getting out in front. Looked more like a one-back power on that run.
That's a first down for the redshirt freshman from Little Rock, Arkansas. He has over 400 rushing yards on the season. Dresser Wynn's a good college quarterback. I can understand why Coach Simpson loves him and loves what he's done for his program. Franklin down to the 15-yard line.
Nice push that time by the Skyhawk offensive front. Clean. Sam Franklin able to get downhill early. See substitutes out there. Zach Wallace in the backfield now.
Austin Bray going out at the last second as DJ Nelson, tight end, comes in on this 2nd and 4. And Wynn quickly gets it out. Nice catch again by Smoot. Looked like a from the Heupel route tree there.
Well, you can see, if you're Jason Simpson, head coach over there at UT Martin, opportunity to start developing some chemistry beyond the Colton Dowells. Obviously, we mentioned not seeing Devontae Tanksley here in the second half. Smoot able to emerge, certainly on this drive.
1st and 10 at the 11th on the 10th play. Good catch by Fields inside the 8. LaMelo Edwards, that crack hit that you just heard. Tennessee beating Alabama here at home. UT Martin this week, Kentucky next week. This will be a free play. Why not go to the end zone? Touchdown, wow. George Qualls. Tennessee was in the neutral zone.
Offside, defense, number 20, have penalties decline. Result of play is a touchdown.
George Qualls, a junior from Caruthersville, Missouri, scores a touchdown in Neyland Stadium.
It looked like Demarius Warren. They looked like they snapped the ball right as Demarius Warren reached out to create contact. Otherwise, it would have been a dead ball. Obviously, a penalty on the defense. Instead, as you mentioned, Taylor, free play and second touchdown of the game for the Skyhawks. Pretty impressive drive.
Dresser's now 5th all-time in passing yards in UT Martin history. Let's go back to the studio and Peter.
All right, boys, monster matchup down in the other Death Valley. 21-10, 4th and goal, and guess what? Clemson able to punch it through. 21-16, extra point coming. And of course, we got a lot of football, including, how about Cincinnati? We're going right now. Baylor trying to hold off the Kansas Jayhawks We'll get you caught up on all of these as we continue a big day of football here in college.
Cade Klubnik is in at quarterback for Clemson with DJ Uiagalelei on the bench. But as PB tells you, they're down 5. That's a big game throughout all of college football if Syracuse is able to win that.
Oh, it's interesting too, right? Because you've been talking all season, you keep hearing about the confidence that was building in and around the quarterback position at Clemson. And you get into a contested game, you're down in the second half, and all of a sudden you make a change. You're going, well, if you're concerned about confidence, that doesn't necessarily instill a lot of confidence.
To be picked up at the 6. And it is Holiday who returns it to the 15. Last night we went to Stock and Barrel. It's where we always go when we're in Knoxville, Stitch.
Phenomenal. Everything's good about it. They put jelly on burgers. I don't know if I think they fry the fries in duck fat, whatever it is, it's magical. And I think we had at least 3 or 4 orders of those. Onion rings, which you think you've had onion rings every way that you can have them. I don't know what they're doing to theirs, but it's also, it's almost like a pastry or something around the onion ring. It's like you're having dessert during your meal, which is tough to beat.
That whole area on Market Street is just spectacular. Alyssa, what'd you order?
I think Stinch's exact words were, "Bring me all the garlic aioli you have in this establishment."
He did say that.
And they sure did. I had a classic burger, added some garlic aioli, because why not? I recently actually ranked SEC restaurants, and Stock and Barrel made the top 5 for a good reason, guys.
They earned it, no doubt.
Oh, and their staff knew all about your rankings last night. They were proud to have cracked the top 5. Jay Rogers is still down for UT Martin.
That is, see the training staff attending to him.
Redshirt junior from Memphis, Tennessee. When we get our assignments on where we're going each week in the Southeastern Conference, that's become the first thing we think about is where are we eating dinner on Friday night?
Priorities solidly intact. Good to see him hop up, walk off under his own power. Knoxville's an underrated town. You got the Volunteer Princess, beautiful boat right down there on the river.
Did a great job helping Alyssa safely get into the water and out.
Captain Chris.
How cold was it, Alyssa, even with the wetsuit on?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cold. It was pretty cold. I wasn't in the water for that long. I've never been so motivated to do something in one single take, but shout out to Charlie for letting us use his boat. Shout out to Captain Chris from the Princess, as you guys said, for chartering our voyage yesterday.
Ooh.
Milton tried to get it out, and it's incomplete. As Chaz Nimrod was the intended receiver. He got drilled immediately.
Yeah, in search of those goalposts, Super Vol, Charlie Moore and his boat Stay the Course, that certainly came in handy. Otherwise, Alyssa, that's a lot longer swim for you. Good to see who was out there to scoop you up.
Y'all talk about Southern hospitality. I have to tell you what Charlie told me as we were boarding his ship.
First down run by Milton. What did he say?
I came walking up and he said, "Hey, I know about you. I know you went to South Carolina. I know you're a Gamecock, and I know across the SEC, we're brethren, right?" And he said every time he goes to Columbia, he has such a great time with those fans. So he said he wanted to make sure he showed us and our crew that same kind of hospitality. It was wonderful SEC love.
And these Volunteers are headed there next month. Milton takes on defenders and just runs them over. I don't know why you would try to have a one-on-one tackle on 6'5", 250 pounds. That's not going to work.
Big and strong. Get him out in the open field. He is definitely a problem.
Carson Evans just got trucked.
And then we got, we headed over to the old Sigma Chi house. Stephen Bowden, the president over there, and his buddies.
Yeah.
John Richardson, Mason Guion were the couple of guys that were horsing that goalpost around. It's a lot lighter than it looks, but they did a great job of not only salvaging that thing, but sharing it with us. I gotta tell you, the guy who coordinated it all was Jeff Haygood, maybe the greatest Vol fans ever. He goes way, way back. Well, for him, we wouldn't have had a boat. We wouldn't know where those goalposts were. Got a guy who's got a finger on the pulse of the Vol Nation. It'd be Jeff.
Appreciate him very much. Yeah, you were the big man on campus, literally and figuratively, at the Sigma Chi house. Those guys were fired up to see you.
Great guys.
I just want to make this clear. We have breaking news. Paxton Brooks is punting for Tennessee. It's the 6th punt in the last 19 quarters. It's not Paxton's best, off the side of his foot. Back to Peter in the studio.
Monster game coming up for both of these squads. A.J. Swan, call me. He's looking to dial up a win. CD, it's been 24 straight SEC games since they got a dub.
I would recommend him getting the ball to Will Sheppard if he would like to break that 24-game streak.
Good battle between wide receivers today. Will Sheppard and Dominic Lovett and Luther Burden on the other side. About an hour to kickoff in Como. Back to you, boys.
Dave Neal, Deuce McAllister, and Andrea Carter there in Como for that one. Good chat with our guy Dave last night. He gets pumped to call that one.
Dave went and got that pork tenderloin over at the Stadium Grill. If he's doing it right, Como. He talks about pizza and burgers over there. He's bringing out a pork tenderloin the size of a Frisbee. If you pass up on that, you're crazy.
My man Uncle Dave's not passing up on that. 1st and 10 Skyhawks at their own 44. And a nice run by Wallace, eluding a man in the backfield and picking up 10.
Elijah Herring almost took the handoff.
He timed that perfectly, didn't he?
He really did. We saw that return motion. He just triggered right off the edge. Instead, big gain going the other way.
Wynn slings it out to the sideline. And it's a fumble. No, they're going to say the ground. Caused it. Is Smoot was tackled after an 8-yard catch. It's the end of 3 quarters. Tennessee celebrates homecoming. About to be 7-0 as one of the top teams in America, up 58-14. 58-14, third-ranked Tennessee Vols lead UT Martin on homecoming as we start the 4th quarter. Matt Stinchcomb and Taylor Zars are with you. Alyssa Lang down on the field, and we have the athletic director at the University of Tennessee, Danny White, with us. Good times in Knoxville these days, Danny.
No question. Folks are having some fun today, that's for sure.
And I know they did last Saturday. Have you ever seen a party after a college football game like that?
I have never, no. It was an amazing scene on the field and just the emotion of all of our fans. I think it had been so long, and obviously the cigars and the plume of smoke coming out of Neyland Stadium, the party seemed to go in the locker room for a long time.
We'll watch a little bit of this with you here as UT Martin is on offense here at the start of the 4th quarter, and that ball dropped by DJ Nelson. It'll set up a 3rd down. We do have some players down on the field. We'll check on them in just a moment. Danny, while we see about their condition, just what is the impact of a victory like that when all of America, all of college football is watching?
It's, one of those moments, I think a program building moment comes to mind. Obviously a huge impact on recruiting, but just the pride of our fan base. We were talking off camera just about the fact that this game sold out and filled up. I think shows just the momentum that we have, and last weekend's win was a huge part of that.
Obviously homecoming, right, and a sellout that actually looked like a sellout. A lot of fans, a lot of fan interest. But there's a collegial sense between the University of Tennessee and UT Martin, and they actually announced the GoFundMe for one of their players, obviously impacted by Hurricane Ian, and the Vol fan base really responded well.
Yeah, no question. Young man and his family just had a awful set of circumstances, lost their home in the hurricane, and our fans really stepped up. I was really proud of that. We have a great system president. Randy Boyd is the president of our system, and oversees both UT Knoxville and UT Martin. And I think there's great camaraderie with both chancellors and certainly the administration of both universities. But Vol Nation stepped up big for that young man, and we're really proud to be able to help in a tough circumstance.
It's very cool that you guys did that. You mentioned the support through the system, the UT Martin chancellor celebrating a victory. Of course, he's got a player on Tennessee's team he was celebrating that last week. I want to update this. Elijah Simmons, that's who you're seeing right there. That's the defensive lineman, the junior from Memphis, who's hobbling to the sideline. Demarius Warren, the right guard for UT Martin, was also injured on the play, and Jason Simpson, the head coach, Stench, was talking about that's the last thing you want to see in a game like this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, we know what's in front of Tennessee, right? Next week, y'all have Kentucky, and then obviously UT Martin will return to their conference play. They've had a really strong start to their season, so both teams seeking to get out of this contest as healthy as possible, knowing that there are challenges even within conference and certainly within the division. From UT's perspective, Tennessee's perspective, going into Kentucky and then having an opportunity to win a division championship. We can talk about beating Alabama, but what does it mean to be contending for the division late in the season for the first time in a long time? It's
been way too long, and this is obviously the kind of football we want to be playing late in the season, want to be playing in meaningful games, and just excited about the opportunities we have ahead of us.
It's a free play. It looked like, the UT Martin receiver was out of bounds, and the side judge did take his hat off as George Qualls did make the catch, but came back into play. A UT defender was offsides as that ball was snapped to Dresser Wynn. Get this cleared up.
Well, while the officials are figuring things out on the field, when you look at certain circumstances at the end of the year, there's a
the receiver was forced out of bounds, came back in bounds, and established himself. It is a completed catch on the field. Offside, defense, number 20. That penalty is declined. First down.
How about that? So he was forced out. So it is going to be a catch there inside the 5-yard line. Go ahead, Stench.
Yeah, and so in looking at it, I'm curious from an athletic director's perspective, given our current construct of the college football playoff, more explanation. All right, so now we're going to look at the catch, which allows us to completely unpack the college football playoff.
I've done that once or twice before.
Yes, you have. I remember that. Yes.
Imagine, yeah. It's all right, so we'll take a look at, obviously the receiver had left the field of play, and I don't know that he had established himself back in bounds prior to the opportunity to even make this catch, and whether or not he makes it off the turf. Also something they'll be looking at here. He would not have established himself back in bounds, it didn't look like, prior to making contact with the football with his hands. So with our current construct, 4 teams are allowed in. And we're looking at the undefeateds, knowing that there can only potentially be one undefeated out of the East Division, but one that could be thought to be among the best teams in the country. Your thoughts around one conference contributing more than 2 teams to a college football playoff?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. Obviously, a lot of football to be played, but we could find ourselves in that circumstance. We have 3 or 4 contenders probably for a potential playoff across the Southeastern Conference. It's obviously a really tough conference, and it'd be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
You talked about being in the news a few years ago when the college football playoff was going on. UCF had an undefeated season. I know you were so proud of that. Josh Heupel was on that staff that went undefeated. Heupel then, of course, became the head coach at UCF, and you brought him here to the University of Tennessee. Why?
Ultimately, I think coaching hires pretty much come down to a gut decision. And
after video review, the ball hit the ground. The receiver did not have firm control of it. It is an incomplete pass. Therefore, we will enforce the offside penalty 5 yards from the previous spot. It results in a first down.
We assessed the marketplace across the country and talked to a bunch of folks, and just really felt like what I learned from the leadership of our group, from our team, and the culture that they wanted here, and it was kind of what we had in place at UCF down in Orlando. And I thought Josh was the best person to get it going here. And he's making me look like maybe I know what I'm doing here.
It's a heck of a start, right? Year number 2, going to be 7-0 after today's game. You mentioned the games ahead. This place is going to be rocking next Saturday night for Kentucky.
It will. It will. I can't wait.
1st and 10 for UT Martin at the 30-yard line. Wynn is going to throw over to the sideline. Qualls makes the catch, turns. Let's see if they give him a touchdown. 31 yards. And they do. They mark him out inside the 4-yard line at the 3.
This pylon cam's been busy. I don't know. I'm not sure that I see him. I thought he was out of bounds when it happened real time. Marked out on the 3-yard line. A couple of good looks. That's been an active sideline these last few minutes.
Well, Danny, we certainly appreciate your time. We love coming here to Knoxville, treated first class every single time, and I know you're enjoying the 2022 season. Best of luck as things get into November.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you guys having me, and enjoy the rest of your time here on Rocky Top.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Danny White, the athletic director here at the University of Tennessee, joining us on Homecoming. Going to sort this
Danny,
out again.
You don't want to stay here while they continue to yeah. So we're still trying to figure out what happened here. I don't see where the receiver's out of bounds.
If he is, he was out before the 3. That is what they're looking at.
It looks more like, I think, maybe the 7-yard line.
Longest 19 seconds maybe in the history of football here. Start of the 4th quarter. Yes, UT Martin's had a couple of reviews, penalties, injuries. We've had it all here in the first 19 seconds.
We've had 3 catches here in the second half that have been reviewed pretty extensively. Maybe it's right there, just beyond the 7-yard line, but I don't know how you can tell from here. Maybe it's right here, right? Looking right here. All right. And it does look like maybe his right foot rolls onto the boundary. It would be further upfield, though. That would be about the 7-yard line. I'm not certain that this call is going to be material to the outcome of the game. There was an earlier potential catch that seemed to be a said grace over.
After video review, the ruling on the field of a touchdown stands.
Well, they went and marked the ball at the 3-yard line. Maybe they were marking that for the extra point. They never put their arms up to say touchdown, but it is a touchdown. Another one for George Qualls, and it's 31 yards in length.
How many seconds?
Felt like about 25 minutes. It's 58-21 as UT Martin continues to fight hard in Knoxville. a time to be a Tennessee Vol. 58-21, they lead UT Martin on homecoming. This was a packed house to start the game today. Most of those fans have left Neyland Stadium to enjoy this spectacular Saturday in Knoxville. Let's see what's going on elsewhere. Back to the studio and Peter Burns.
All right, Taylor. Benjamin Watson, you said that you thought Clemson was going to get back in this game, according to Chris Dorrigan. Look at Will Shipley do it.
Yeah, he did it, but a little QB change there. I think that kind of gave the offense a spark, and Will Shipley takes it all the way home, 24-21.
Tigers up 3 at that point. You can see it over on ABC. And then Vandy, Mizzou. That game coming up in just about 45 minutes. Taylor, quit ducking me on the golf course.
So Syracuse is down 3 to Clemson, 24-21. And again, that game over on ABC. Milton throws the deep ball. This is going to be pass interference. No chance to catch the ball for Chaz Nimrod.
Pass interference, defense, number 20. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Got to give him a chance, Jermichael McGoy.
Joe Milton in there, uncorking deep balls. We're just barely into the fourth quarter.
.32 to go. And what is the 70th play on offense for Tennessee today? Milton handed off to Dylan Sampson, and Sampson loses yardage.
See the Skyhawk defense still in there playing. Obviously the offense able to move the football. Opportunity for UT Martin. They've got some guys out there still pulling the trigger.
Again, Sampson loses a couple of yards. That's not going to work.
As Christian Dowell getting upfield, big number 94. Will swallow Sampson up as Tennessee quick over the line. UT Martin, their down linemen weren't even, they were looking over to the sideline. Tennessee slows down a little bit.
Vols have been incredible on third down today. They converted their first 8, 12 of 16 overall. Hooker and Milton roommates in college this year. Wide open is Squirrel. Touchdown, Tennessee. 64 yards for the true freshman.
Joe Milton got that arm warmed up earlier on a deep ball. Put it to good use on that one to Squirrel White. They were talking about the true freshman, not a big body, but man, is he explosive. Really excited what they have at number 10, backing up Jalen Hyatt.
Toby Wilson gets another chance, makes this extra point. 65-21 Volunteers all over the Skyhawks.
Welcome back to Knoxville, where the Vols have put 65 points up on UT Martin. 65-21 your score right now. Of course, Hendon Hooker responsible for many of those points coming in the first half, and the entire country has fallen in love with him as a quarterback. Of course, he's in the Heisman conversation at this point in the season, but how about what he is off the field? Hendon Hooker recently became a dog dad, guys. He has a golden doodle puppy named Cinco, of course, paying homage to his number 5 and Hendon's nickname, Hendo Cinco. Why does he wear that number 5 though? Well, there are 5 immediate members of his family, which is why he wears the number, as well as a wristband on game day that says Hook 5. So shout out to his brother, his sister, and his mom and dad, a really tight-knit family. And speaking of dogs, guys, there was a large roar from this crowd in the first half. Midway through the second quarter, Smokey 11 was introduced to this crowd. Still just a puppy in training, but they're getting him used to all the noise and everything out here in Neyland. He wasn't out here too long, as Smokey 10 obviously still holding down the ship and is very well trained in his position. But there will be a new Smokey in town come next season, guys.
That's awesome. And Smokey 11, as you see on the right, got a huge cheer. I don't know that he really liked the cheer. Smokey 10 gets to retire and enjoy life. Watch Smokey 11 run around from now on.
Yeah, keep the neighbors up. Just barking like a crazy fool. I like the way he was just like, hey man, act like you've been there before. He's just sitting there posing for pictures. Smokey 11's bouncing all over the place. He'll get there.
Looking forward to the rest of our broadcast. Senior Bowl director Jim Nagy is going to tell us what he thinks of Hendon Hooker's pro potential. Darnell Wright is right tackle as well. We'll have that coming up for you as Dresser Wynn's gone the whole way today. He picks up 5 yards there. Wynn is thrown for 252 yards and a couple touchdowns. Slings it again. It's a first down throw to Smoot. Up to the 42-yard line. This quarterback draft is going to be rich come next April. Hooker could be one of those that is selected early. I don't think many people saw that coming 2 years ago when he was fighting for playing time in Blacksburg. A miscommunication with Wynn and Devontae Tanksley, who's back in the game.
You said it. I mean, there's some talented players, no doubt. Hendon Hooker ascending those lists as Dresser Wynn led Tanksley a little bit too much. He's had a pretty good second half here versus what's largely backups. We mentioned off the top, number of starters, 5 defensive players that otherwise could have, aren't on the field. And then, of course, even more that were lost. Brandon Turnage, who they say will not be effective for the game next week versus Kentucky.
Wallace gets a couple. Yeah, I mean, if you're a team like the Carolina Panthers, who right now are the worst team in the NFL, just traded away Christian McCaffrey and a couple other players, and Baker Mayfield has not worked out yet in Charlotte. They're going to be, you would think, drafting a quarterback. And it C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Hendon Hooker, Will Levis, plenty to choose from. Wynn off the back foot, caught. First down and a catch and a run for Smoot inside the 25. UT Martin's offense is awake here in the second half. That's 37 more.
Smoot on the outside, just misplayed. You're underneath it. Instead, you don't make the play underneath that route. Run after catch by Smoot, who has been the go-to guy here in the second half ever since Colton Dowell was knocked out of the game.
Christian Harrison bit and couldn't make the pick to the end zone. Incomplete, looking for Qualls, who has the last 2 touchdowns.
So the hat came off once again. Receiver leaving the field of play. That sideline maybe curves inward. So we've had 3 different throws, I think, where the receiver either steps out of bounds or is out of bounds during his route. Being facetious, of course, it's just popping up. I don't think they didn't line the field appropriately. Grounds crew don't get bent out of shape. Checkerboard looks great.
It's a tight playing surface up against that wall, though. Wynn with a flag down, completes it underneath again to Smoot. Boy, he's had a whale of a second half. He's got all 7 of his catches in the second half. They give him an 8th catch, unless they decline this penalty here.
Offside, defense number 58 in the neutral zone at the time of the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty, second down.
It's 3 times now here in the second half where the Skyhawks are able to get the Volunteer defense in front and jump early. Got a couple of free plays out of the deal. One time they pick up free 5 yards.
Coach Simpson in his 17th season as the head coach at UT Martin. Dresser Wynn just went over 300 yards passing. He drops the football. And he's on it at the 22.
Second time today, the ball came out of Dresser Wynn's hands. It's strange how that just kind of squirted out of his throwing hand. Saw one earlier. Negative yardage play created by that mishandle.
.86 points in the game, and we still have almost 10 minutes left. Wynn throws again, the fade. Incomplete, looking for Smoot. 4th down.
See a nice drive there by the Skyhawks. Undone there by the Volunteer defense. Able to step in right there in the just outside the red zone area.
Tyler Larco is going to attempt a 39-yard field goal. This would be the longest of the year, and he hooked it. Still 65-21 with 9:35 to go. Darnell Wright had a terrific game against Will Anderson and the Crimson Tide last week. Here's Executive Director of the Senior Bowl, Jim Nagy, on Wright.
One of our favorite things here at the Senior Bowl is watching players get better. And there's not a more improved player in the country this year, in our opinion, at any position than Tennessee right tackle Darnell Wright. He had to make the transition this offseason from left tackle to right tackle, and he's done a fabulous job. And you got to credit Tennessee offensive line coach Glenn Ellerbe for all the work he's put in. The hand use, the technique was on full display last week against Alabama when Wright had to take on Will Anderson, who's going to be a top 5 pick when we get to April's draft. So, you know, Darnell probably started the season as a mid-day 3 pick, and the way he's played, especially last week against Will Anderson, he's definitely got himself squarely in that day 2 mix.
Not all 11 players in the offense were set for 1 second prior to the snap. That's a false start. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
I'll tell you more about Taven Jackson, the new Tennessee quarterback, in a second, but Stench, you played left tackle and right tackle in college. What is that transition like?
Yeah, I mean, it changes things, obviously. Footwork, foot placement, all those things. But the other piece of it, too, depending on how your offense is constructed, the direction that you can help, you know, from a protection standpoint, where you slide protections. If you're a right-handed offense, usually you would slide it to the blind side. So oftentimes they talk about the left tackle being on an island. You sometimes try to help him. Right tackle ends up on an island quite a bit.
Justin Williams-Thomas, the freshman, runs ahead to the 25.
Well, what last week was for Darnell Wright was a money game. That definitely helps his draft status. You just heard Jim talking about it. Where you can perform that way versus elite talent, then you're going to catch the attention of the folks at the next level, that's for sure. He's certainly gotten the respect of his teammates and coaches here at Tennessee.
Taven Jackson's 2 for 2 passing on the season. He's under pressure and he gets hit as he throws. And so it's incomplete and 4th down.
So Jackson just fixing his jersey there. First, I thought maybe he had a little bit of a shoulder issue.
What you think about this offensive front? You know, Jim talked about Glenn Ellerby and the job that he's done. We were talking with Josh Heupel, and he brought up Coach Ellerby. They've been together for quite some time. Really smart guy, and he's definitely improved this offensive front technically. We've got some guys that they've been in this program. They look like different players this year.
Brooks just with his second punt at the 43-yard line, 25 yards the first time, 32 this time with 8:03 left in the fourth quarter before the Volunteers get to 7-0.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem.
Beautiful spot on the map for homecoming today. Tennessee's going to beat UT Martin. They're up 65-21 with 8:03 to go. Dresser Wynn played well today, threw for over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. He gets the rest of the day off, and Cornelius Brown, the Georgia State transfer, is in at quarterback. Hands it off, and there goes Jordan Castleberry running through Volunteers inside the 45 for 14 yards. Brown, originally from Birmingham, just 2 of 10 passing on the season. Castleberry, that Maryland transfer, just had a nice run. Here's a good ball that's caught up at the 36, maybe even 35 for 8 more as Qualls continues to have a good second half for the Skyhawks.
See the rush yards by Cornelius Brown. 26 total touchdowns. Had an even win-loss record.
Playing for Sean Elliott at Georgia State. Qualls inside the 30 with a flag coming in.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 34. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the run, first down.
Well, that's been a problem for Tennessee today with penalties, 13 of them.
Season high for the Vols. Of course, you're dealing with largely depth players now. This game's long since been in hand.
Brown takes off. That's what he does best. You see that speed, more flags on the field. He got in the end zone, but could have a block. It'll bring this one back.
Yeah, they're signaling holding the Skyhawks.
Holding. Offense, number 83. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
It's George Qualls. Wow. I don't know. Okay.
Keep you posted on that Clemson-Syracuse game. Clemson's up 6 with 32 seconds to go, but the Orange are driving in Clemson territory. Handoff goes to Castleberry, and those fresh legs get near the 15. Ohio State is going to beat Iowa. Alabama's got Mississippi State tonight. I expect the Crimson Tide to be a different team in Tuscaloosa than the one that we typically see on the road.
Yeah, there's no doubt they have struggled as a road team. Really, Mississippi State last year on the road, the only convincing victory in the past 2 seasons for the Tide. Of course, Ohio State able to hold off that offensive onslaught from the Hawkeyes.
2nd and 11, under 6 minutes left. Brown down near the 13-yard line. Well, Syracuse just turned it over, Stench, so Clemson's going to dodge a bullet and remain undefeated.
Yeah, I'm not certain that the ACC has a team that's capable of beating Clemson. I don't know if that says more about Clemson or more about the teams that they are scheduled to play this season.
Third and 9 for Brown. He's going to throw. Did he go out of bounds? They did. Yeah, he throws a flag. The official does, as Lawrence made the catch.
What they're talking about is whether or not he left the field of play without being forced out. It would be an illegal touching for that to be the case.
Number 89 of the offense went out of bounds on his own, came back in, was first to touch the pass. As illegal touching, loss of down, 4th down at the previous spot.
And you see it right there, plain as day. Great job by the pylon cam. I gotta tell you, pylon cam has had a heck of a game.
You are a big fan.
I'll say the far pylon was doing most of the work, but now the near side pylon getting in on the action. Not to be outdone by the far side pylon. Not a lot of goal line shots, mostly boundary shots from the pylon cam.
Larko from 31 yards, and this one creeps in there. Our new score is 65-24 with 5:04 to go in the fourth quarter. So you were talking about each conference. The Atlantic Coast Conference, not as strong as the SEC, obviously. The SEC and the Big Ten are basically have the same chance to get one team in. SEC, far greater chance to get two. ACC, the third best chance to get into the college football playoff. Big 12 and the Pac-12 down at 15%. It is a little interesting to me that the Big 12 and the Pac-12 have the same percentage when TCU is still undefeated.
Yeah,
now UCLA is undefeated, but not many people think they're going to run through their schedule and stay unblemished. Big test that just starts right now against Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, UCLA with a near miss versus South Alabama. Traveled all the way across the country. I think South Alabama obviously coming all the way from lower Alabama. More
specifically
referenced in Mobile, I think. Mobile area.
Just like to state for the record that you kept that streak alive today.
You said it earlier. We all heard you. But I will say, you're looking at Clemson and you're wondering, that percentage, I guess there's an anticipation they drop a game. Because if you finish as an undefeated conference champion, maybe it's just because of the single contender.
34 of the kicking team. 5 yards will be added to the end of the kick. First down.
Yeah, because Clemson's already been through their toughest games, perceived to be toughest games. Playing Wake Forest, NC State, and Syracuse today. Florida State also, they beat them a couple weeks ago. So yeah, they're at Notre Dame. Notre Dame going through a complete rebuild this year. Finished the season against the Gamecocks. We did that game last year. It was not competitive. Be surprised if Shane Beamer's team doesn't put up a better fight when that game happens Saturday after Thanksgiving. 5:04 left, and Squirrel White makes another catch from Taven Jackson. This is 8 yards.
The real question for Clemson is that quarterback change permanent now. We've seen even earlier on in the season perhaps clamoring for a change at that position. Certainly saw fit to do it today. Able to come away with a victory.
No quarterback issue here in Knoxville. It is Hendon Hooker's team. And Hooker and the Vols will take on the Kentucky Wildcats next Saturday night at 7 o'clock. And this place will be rocking when they start that game. See their upcoming schedule then at the Dogs on November 5th. Mizzou, the last home game of the season before they're at South Carolina and at Vanderbilt. I guess I should say the last game in Knoxville is November 12th. I'm not so sure the November 26th game, they'll have less fans in the stands, but down goes Hook, down goes Jackson there as Aaron Webb makes the sack.
I know, of course, we're spinning a good ways forward, but after that November 5th game, Tennessee heading down to Athens to face the Dogs. And of course, you've got Alabama Ole Miss the very following weekend. Easily could have a one-loss Alabama team facing a potentially undefeated Ole Miss team in the West Division for that race.
I'd like to say another thing about the Kentucky game next week. Now, Levis didn't play 2 weeks ago. They lost. Last week, that offense sputtered against Mississippi State in victory, I might add. But if Kentucky's offense is right with Levis and Rodriguez running the ball, Patrick Wilk gets the carry, that could be a formidable opponent next Saturday night for Tennessee.
You know, it's interesting is you watch Kentucky, man, when that defense is right, it's right. We've seen them put together some pretty impressive defensive performances. Boy, they will have their hands full this year with this offensive bunch here at Tennessee. There's not been many that have slowed this unit down. When you look over the course of their quarters, they've got one quarter where they didn't score points. It was the third quarter versus Pitt. You know, otherwise, you're hard-pressed to find an offensive performance that would concern you from Tennessee.
Jackson runs, and look at the moves. First down into UT Martin territory for the freshman from Greenwood, Indiana. It's gone down, though. Let's see what happened to Taven at the end of this play.
Non-contact injury. I don't know where. Almost like he maybe jammed his right ankle there when he was trying to dead leg the defender, and he gets up.
Landing on that left shoulder, Stinch.
Yep, that's it. I think you're exactly right. You can see him look at him. You know, whenever you see a player reach underneath their pads like that, you know, who knows, right? No physician. But a lot of times it's that shoulder injury. You sprain your shoulder. It feels like your pads kind of get folded underneath themselves.
Gaston Moore, who came over from UCF with Coach Heupel, and a quarterback, sophomore from Hilton Head, South Carolina. Completed his only pass this season. Now he's 2 for 2 as Grant Firking makes the catch.
Grant Firking, early adopter in the NIL era. I think he's got a landscaping business on the side. Interesting proposition. Student athlete, wide receiver for a number 3 ranked team, and spread pine straw in his free time.
Before he ever gets over to Charlotte, needs some work desperately at the moment. Moore throws it out there and was caught by Jack Jancic, sophomore from Catholic High School here in Knoxville. SEC now will have you for a few minutes, it looks like, before Vandy and Mizzou starts at the top of the hour. Thanks again to all those fine folks, Stinch, that set us up for you and for Alyssa this week. We love coming to Knoxville.
Yeah, no doubt. Jeff, Charlie, Chris, Grant, Steven, all those guys, Carter, they came in handy.
And our girl, Brianna, who was on the boat with me yesterday. with the drone camera. I know she's at the frat house with Houston. She did a great job putting that together.
No doubt.
Patrick Wilk, Hunter Barnes, and the Tennessee Volunteers getting some work done at the end of the game. Let's see if they're going to let Tennessee run one more play. And they're going to let Gaston Moore throw it to the end zone, and it's intercepted on the last play of the game as Ty Woods gets the interception, and Tennessee wins the game 65-24 on homecoming. Season high, 696 total yards, 20 more than they had against Akron. The Vols are 7-0 before Hendon Hooker and UT hosts Kentucky next Saturday night. Hooker played a half, threw for 276 and 3 touchdowns. Another unbelievable day for Jalen Hyatt, 174 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns.
He talked about, Josh Heupel said, good teams get better. They certainly regained their focus after a somewhat slow start, especially defensively, before they piled up points again.
Alyssa's with Coach.
Coach, you talked about the intensity of your team throughout practice this week after that big win. What do you make of their performance today?
I thought the performance with our ones on both sides of the ball and special teams was solid today. Didn't like some of the stuff that I saw in the second half from some of our young guys. Opportunity for them to improve. They got to learn from it. We got to get better as we go to the back half of the season.
How meaningful is it to get some of those young guys in for meaningful game reps today?
Yeah, great reps, great opportunities for them to learn and understand the urgency that you have to have in your preparation. Seeing the guy in front of you make plays doesn't mean you're going to go make those same plays.
Thanks, Coach. Congrats.
Appreciate it.
Tennessee is 7-0. Skyhawks fall to 4-3. For Matt Stinchko, Melissa Lang, Adam Coppinger, and our entire production team, I'm Taylor Zarzer. In Knoxville, Tennessee beats UT Martin 65-24. Back to the studio and our guy, Peter Burns.
Thank you, Taylor.